Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Tanner's Favorite Things. I'm Tanner Knight, and today we're hopefully going to address a problem that's been kind of nagging for a little while, and that's my hi-hat placement on my main Superstar drum set. So we have a new hi-hat stand to try out today, and well, let's just go ahead and break it. And finally, we have the main event. This is a DW 3000 series two-legged hi-hat stand. And it looks like it used to be a three-legged one, or nope, that's just a lock on there. Maybe it's always been one. But the problem that I've always had with my hi-hat is that I can't get it close enough to the kick with the double bass kick. Or the snare, so this should hopefully buy me a little more real estate than my current setup. So as you can see, my three-legged hi-hat stand is currently just a middle tier Pearl stand, which is a nice hi-hat stand and one that's worked flawlessly for however many years I've had it. But you can see that in order to get it to this position, it's got to be very close to the double kick pedal and a little farther back than I'd like. So I think we can probably move this whole thing a little farther forward and remedy this situation. All right, so this is how this hi-hat stand came, kind of disassembled. And I always advise getting a little bit of lubricant on chains, but on this one it actually feels like it's okay. I'm just gonna give it a quick wipe down. These chain parts need to move pretty freely, but they do kind of attract a little bit of dust and grime on the outside due to the fact that there is lubricant. So we'll just do that. And I think we are good to get some hardware out. So I'm just winging this. I don't know exactly how this goes, but we do have one of these levers here. We have this kind of hardware, which I assume is what attaches this guy to the base. So let's do that first. These ones have nuts on them, so I assume that they also go on the outside and inside here. Looks like they lost the original nut and we're using, and bolt rather, this is a whole nut and bolt combo that is not supposed to be with this set, but I'll bet it works just fine. This one's just a regular old Phillips head. All right, that feels pretty secure. Let's just hit each one of these one more time with the drum key. So DW is an American drum manufacturer. Drum Workshop is actually what DW stands for, but they make drums and drum hardware, and they are known for making some of the most rock solid components and hardware on the market. So if you are looking for rock solid stuff, DW is a great place to start. And this is one of my first DW products in that I haven't really had the ability to spend the amount of money required to get DW products. I have a DW Design Series snare, which is actually the lowest tier snare that they make, and it's a great snare. I love it. I rock with that as my primary snare in a lot of drum cases, a lot of drum sets, that is. This clutch looks pretty burly. Nice hardware, good felt, nice rotating sections here. So I think the way that this goes, we've got 4 of these. This little dial here actuates a little bit of lean on the whole stack. That's kind of cool. And before we actually assemble the hi-hats on here, I'd like to get a baseline for what the current hi-hat ergonomics are. So let's go ahead and look at that in action. So my naturally seated position here is actually a little off angle. So I'm hoping that we can address that angle, straighten this one up a little bit. And the reason that it has to be at this angle is because it's butted up against this. And I've tried to arrange the kick in between these two legs as best I could, but overall, it just got more awkward the more I messed with it. So this was the best I could do, and it just requires a little bit of twisting to line my foot up with the actual footbed, the kick. So I don't know. It's been okay, but it's been a little less than ideal. So here's what it currently looks like when I use all of these things together. We're assembling our hi-hat. I like that this clutch actually has a set screw on it, and that just provides a little extra security so that your clutch just doesn't give out. All right, so this thing is actually pretty easy to install. You just release this, this wing nut here, and it goes down the rod, and this little claw hooks on to the top of the clutch. And when it's engaged, then does everything you need. But if you do ever want to let it go, then it also keeps a little bit of pressure on the top of the clutch here as well, so that it gives you a more permanently closed hi-hat sound. I assume this is probably better used with like a double bass kick if you want to utilize the hi-hats closed without having to have the pedal depressed. So a really nice mechanism, but it's kind of antiquated at this point. I'll bet they have a much better device for holding that up now. Again, this is an older 3000 series pedal from DW, which was the bottom of their range in whenever this was made. I still don't think they have a lower than 3000 tier line currently, but all of their products are great, and this one is certainly burly and made very well. So let's get it in place. Okay, immediately this is better. I was able to move the hi-hat closer. I was able to move this pedal closer as a result, and everything immediately feels a bit more accessible. Amazing what just having two legs can do. And I don't even have this skewed as far as it could go. I could really tilt it to one direction and get a lot more real estate there. But this feels perfect for me. Let's go ahead and hear this kit as it is with this new setup and see if it feels a little more ergonomic to me while playing. So I would say that this is a marked improvement over the spacing. I'm not going to say that the performance of this hi-hat stand is any better or worse than the Pearl one that it replaced. It's actually very similar. We have double braced legs for all of the legs, only two in this case, but similar tubing. Maybe the Pearl's a little larger on the tubing, but I would say it's a pretty similar stand, and the chain is similarly sized. It feels pretty good. I did tilt it towards me because this tube here I think is maxed out, and it's a little higher than I'm used to, maybe by a couple of inches. I like it a little closer to the snare, and it's just a little higher, but that's not the end of the world. This little clutch holder here is pretty cool. I like it. So a nice little feature. Overall, I would say that DW makes really great drum products, period. There's no debating that. And if I were to sit here and tell you otherwise, I'd probably be called a bald-faced liar in the comments. So to avoid that, let's just go ahead and say that this is a great product and one that I've been kind of eyeing, but I haven't really been able to pull a trigger just because the right deal hadn't come along. But this one finally did, and it's perfect for this space. Now I'm thinking about replacing my other hi-hat with a two-legger. I have a Ludwig 80s hi-hat that's rocking on my Pearl Masters set, and it's a stalwart of a hi-hat stand as well, but I think the two-legged variety works best when you have a second bass kick pedal in the mix. And I'm trying to get better. I'm not great, but I'm trying to get better at using that, and if it's accessible, you'll use it more. So that's all I really wanted to accomplish with this video. I wanted to unbox this stand that is really going to pull its weight here quite a bit with the Superstars, just by getting me a little extra real estate. There really is a lot of space to be gained with just going to a two-legged hi-hat. So if you're in the market for one, or if you're thinking, man, my hi-hat's in the way, consider one of these, a two-legged version. A lot of the companies make them. I think all of them do, in fact. And the DW3000 is just one of many options in the two-legged hi-hat world. So let me know if you rock one of these, or if you hate it, if you love it, whatever. I want to know what you think. This is the kind of thing that gets me excited, is talking about this gear, and hearing what you guys think always makes things a little bit better. Otherwise, if you do like this style of content, please like and subscribe. That is a free thing that you can do for this channel that really helps me out a ton. I'm trying to grow this thing so that it can become my full-time job. Let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next one.